Now, camping in the rain isn't something I would normally do, but this November I got an idea. I would visit the past, 50 years ago to be exact. We all have things in the past that are life-changing and pivotal. For me, this was one of them. We got a nice little break in the rain for the drive down, so we could see everything pretty good.
Oh, I'm looking so forward to this trip. I think it's been about 40 years since I've been here. So a long time, many memories for both of us. It's really gonna be fun. There we are, driving down the road. Yay, we're in the park. I don't know why, but I always feel like a kid when I get to the ranger station and check in. It's just, yay, we're here.
Yeah. That's almost like the first time for me. After 50 years, even though everything looks the same, we're coming here with a little bit more comfort.
That's for sure. There goes our awning for the first time. That worked out great. Good job, Pat.
Yeah, this awning just adheres to the van with two giant suction cups, which held up through the rain and the storm, and allows us to put up a tarp anywhere on the van, the back, the other side, wherever we need it.
This time it was for rain, because it rained and rained and rained. This is the beginning of the rainy season. Little did we know it would fill all our lakes and streams. Now, water all around.
Time for some food. This little barbecue that I have, I really bought it because it was flat and I could stow it away. I didn't want a big box sitting in the back in the way. In fact, I like everything we have in the van to have its own place, so that when we're going down the road, you can still walk around in the van. It's not full of junk, and it fills up quick. You start throwing barbecues, extra ice chests, big chairs. Next thing you know, you can't walk around in your van. And for us, we're traveling a lot, so we need to be able to walk around in the van, get food, get this, get that, get to our clothes, and not have to unload the van every time.
I love our spot. Even if there were people there, it's still very nice and secluded.
Well, for some reason, people that are out here are more respectful.
No, there's not
Fair
going to be no
weather.
party. I didn't even hear a peep and nothing at all last night.
No.
Nothing. And everything was so green and wet, and then the fire, it just felt like, I loved it.
It was nice to have a little break from the rain so we could cook outside, which we prefer. We can cook in the van also, but it's always nice to have a campfire and cook outside and feel like you're camping.
This little van fits us just perfect. I always tell everyone all I need is a bed and the heater. Happy birthday, honey.
Thanks. When you said let's go somewhere for November, and I looked at Big Sur and it said it was going to be raining the whole trip, I thought, it just reminded me of, it was exactly 50 years ago today,
Right?
when I was in high school and I was in a special program called On Location, and there was 40 of us roughly, and we were backpacking deep into Big Sur, and literally on my birthday we were awakened by our leaders, which were our 2 high school teachers, and they said we were getting up and we were going to hike because water was infiltrating everybody's tent. Everybody was getting wet. There was no place to get warm. So rather than everybody shivering and freezing to death in wet sleeping bags and wet tents, it made more sense to take everybody, pack everything up, and hike and keep moving, keep our body temperatures up. So just imagine you're in your warm sleeping bag. Now you got to get out. It's non-stop rain. Everything you own is wet. So now your backpack weighs a lot more, and it's pitch black out there. So, and usually we hiked in groups of 10, which was a little more manageable. But this time we just elected to hike all 40 of us together in a line, which is really hard because everybody has different tempos and stuff.
Right.
Now you're kind of forced into a tempo that maybe is not exactly what you like to hike at.
Oh, wow.
And on top of that, you can't see anything, just the guy in front of you.
Wow.
And in those days, the flashlights we had were just battery dependent. You had to really manage your battery, or in 2 weeks' time you might not have any batteries.
Right.
And
So
you
a lot of
needed your
people
light
didn't.
every day of your life. It was a very important thing. So we didn't hike with our lights on. Maybe 1 or 2 people would hit it once in a while just to see where we're going, but we all stayed on the trail
Right.
and hiked all night. Now we get to this place, what looked like an old corral. It was a big wide open space, and we thought, okay, this will be a good place to camp. So now we're exhausted because we didn't really sleep, soaking wet, and we had to get ready for the next rainstorm. So everybody worked diligently on getting their tents prepared. We dug trenches around everybody's tent. We dug little canals to flow the water. We worked all day. Sometimes we took 2 tents and combined them to make them extra waterproof. And you got to remember, these were like plastic tubes tents that had been used quite a few times, so they had a lot of holes from rocks and wear and tear on them. So they weren't super watertight to begin with. And then we worked all day on this, and we're just so proud of ourselves. We think we got it made. We're going to handle this rainstorm, right? So here comes nighttime. It starts raining, so we all go to bed and get in our tents. And I swear to God, within 45 minutes, I had a river running through my tent. Nothing we did mattered. It came down so hard, we were just inundated with water. And I was sitting there kind of freaked out going, you know what? I am not going to just sit here in this water.
Right.
So I remembered seeing this like old, funky 2-seater outhouse off into the distance. I thought, well, I'm just going to go in there. So I get my stuff and go in there, and there was already like 7 people in there ahead of me. Trying to get dry because we were freezing to death. And when you get that wet and you have no place to go, no car to get into, no cabin to go, you're on your own, right? So now one person shows up with all the signs of hypothermia. So we started tending to her, taking off all her wet clothes, putting whatever dry we had on her, using body heat to keep her warm. And then we hear rumors that there's a few other people that may be sick with hypothermia. So now we go, okay, we got to get a fire going. It's pouring down rain. And so we thought, okay, we're going to test ourselves here. So we went out into the dark and found fallen trees that had a lot of rot on them. And underneath the bottom, if you dig, you'll find dry, burnable wood.
At least to start a fire with.
Right, and so you put your tarp over that, go in there, dig out that wood, cover it in your tarp, bring it back. And we had people working on the fire, and we were pouring whatever stove fuel we had left to get the fire going. Eventually we kind of get it going. Everybody's hunting down dry wood in the pouring rain again. Bring back the wood, get the fire going, and keeping it going was a full-time job. There was like 2 or 3 people just doing that. Sometimes you put your tarp over the fire until it would build up, and then it would go down, and it was just a constant battle. And meanwhile, we built like this lean-to over on the side here, and we had eventually we ended up with 7 people in there that had hypothermia.
Oh my God.
And we had
Right by
one
the fire.
person, one person attending each person, making sure they stayed awake,
Oh, wow.
and
How
pouring
scary.
hot water or warm water down them to try to warm them
Oh, that's
the inside.
a good idea, right?
We were running out of fuel, so we couldn't fire up our stove to
Oh,
make tea or
my
coffee
God.
or anything like that. We just used whatever we had left to keep this fire going. We took 2 of the strongest hikers that weren't sick or anything and said,
Right.
okay, you guys, here's a map. You guys got to go get help.
Yeah, something.
So these guys hike again in the pitch black. And we're just hoping these guys get somewhere.
Oh my God.
They in turn stumble across this highly barbed wire fence
Oh,
within another barbed wire fence and,
Oh,
and a
wow.
building. And so they saw that there was a phone in there.
Mm-hmm.
So they somehow got through the fencing, got on the phone,
Wow.
and got a hold of somebody
wow.
and said, hey, we need help,
Right.
explain the situation.
Right.
And then the person on the other end of the line also explained that they were just broke into a secret government installation. We didn't really know what that
you're
thing
right.
was,
Wow.
but it was not for
But
people
it was
to be
life
in.
and death. Yeah.
Right. So eventually the fire department, they got to the fire department and they all gathered all their 4-wheel drives and they came up a nearby fire road,
Wow.
which was a small hike from where we were.
Oh.
So we would hike over a handful of people, they would drive them down, hike over a handful of people and drive them down.
So it
Eventually-
wasn't too far.
yeah, and eventually we all got down. They took us to the fire station where all the firemen's beds were, and they put us in the bed, took off all our clothes.
Wow.
The firemen's wives showed up
No.
with cookies and stuff for us to eat, and then they
Yeah.
took and washed and
Take
dried
care of
all our
you.
clothes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the 7 people that had hypothermia went to the hospital, and they were taken care of there. And then, of course, they
Right.
have all recovered.
Right. What year was this? I forgot.
It was
74?
1972
Oh, 72.
in November, yeah.
Wow.
And eventually, everything was good.
Right.
But I think for most of us, for days, weeks, maybe even years, just being at home and hearing the rain was kind of trouble. You know what I mean? It kind of freaked you out.
Post-traumatic stress
It
type
really
thing.
was.
Sure it
I
was.
don't remember
That was a scary time.
I don't remember it exactly the way it was, but it was a long time before that trauma went away. And then life goes on. I think we all became superior human beings. We really gained a level of confidence that we took throughout our whole life.
Sure.
And we survived all that. We eventually went back to regular school, and unbridled confidence in all of us because we survived. We learned how to be self-reliant.
Right.
We solved problems.
And that wasn't the only hike with this on location.
No,
You
this-
did many
this-
more.
Yeah, but this
Yeah,
one
But this one was.
this one happened on my birthday, and so that's why I wanted to come up here to Big Sur in a nice warm van and relive the rain, because it's really a beautiful place. It's a great
It
place
is
to
pouring and wet here.
Yeah, it's a great
wonderful.
place to come and experience solitude and beauty and quiet. It's a wonderful place, but I haven't been back here in 50 years, so that was pretty cool.
So here we are,
Yeah,
playing Yahtzee in the farm.
this is Domino's. But that's
I'm sorry, I said Yahtzee. Well, sometimes we play Yahtzee. It's right down here.
Toast to Domino's.
Yay!
Good morning. My favorite time. It's coffee time. What a beautiful stay this was. I just can't tell you. Don't you think it was the prettiest park we've been in yet?
It was really awesome, and we got a nice break from the rain in the morning, and we got to go on a hike, and we had some friends along with us here, But it's always beautiful, no matter which trail you pick. Here we go.
Here we go. I love this time of year. It's definitely cool and perfect for hiking.
And as the weather continued to be beautiful, we found our way to the beach. Now, if you've ever been to Big Sur, getting down to the water is almost impossible. And there is a way down. It's not marked. It's almost the best kept secret in Big Sur. And nobody really wants you down there, the locals anyway. So they don't readily show you how to get down there. But after 2 tries, we made it, and it was beautiful.
We wouldn't give up. Look at that beach.
And you can see it's not very crowded. A tribute to the fact that nobody knows how to get down there.
That was a great day. Get to see some surfing. And all in all, it was a wonderful trip. Till next time.
Thanks for watching.